Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quentin here and welcome to tutorial number 20. And in this tutorial I am going to talk to you guys about background images on your web page, okay? So I'm actually going to show you guys how to add some background images and also how to manipulate them to appear in different positions, etc. But before we start, I just want to mention to you guys I do have a div tag here in my body, and this is where we're going to be adding our background images. And in my CSS, I've actually just styled that to have a height of 350 pixels and a width of 100%. And if you guys don't know what the width of 100% is going to do, that means that we're going to have a height of 350 pixels. So starting here down to about here somewhere, that would be 350 pixels. And a height of 100% means that the div is going to take up as much space as it possibly can width-wise. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually add our background image in, and it's actually really simple. All you have to do is type in background image, and then you're gonna type in the word URL, which is basically the URL of the image, and you're gonna have to open up some parentheses, and this is where you're gonna put in your image name. Okay, so if we go over to my tutorial 20 folder over here, I've got my index file, which you guys already know what we're working with that. Then we've got our CSS file, which we're working with that in Notepad++, so that's an index and CSS. And then if we go back to that folder over here, we've got my image, which is called YouTube play.png, which is just the YouTube logo. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually type that YouTube play.png file in here, not Pong, PNG. And if you're using a JPEG, then go ahead and type in YouTube play.jpg or whatever, your file name, .jpg. Okay, and go ahead and save that now. And when you click refresh in the browser, you should get a repeating background image. Okay, so as you can see, it starts over here and it repeats horizontally and vertically. And of course, I'm using a really small image, so it repeats obviously a lot of times. If you guys had a much bigger image, then you would see it repeating a lot less times because it would take up more space. But now let's go over to CSS, because let's say you didn't want your image to repeat. Then it's possible to do that. You can go ahead and just set background repeat to no repeat, and this is going to make the image appear only once, and it won't repeat. So let's go back here and click refresh, and as you can see, we only have the one image, not the matrix one, just one image. Sorry, I didn't mean to say you are the one, all matrix like, but yeah. Okay, so we've got it here not repeating at all. It's also possible to make this image repeat horizontally, so that means repeating across the x-axis in the browser, and all you have to do is then change this background repeat to repeat minus x, or repeat hyphen x, and what that's going to do is make the YouTube play logo repeat on the x-axis. So that's pretty cool. And if we wanted to repeat going from the top to the bottom, that is the vertical axis or the y-axis, then we could go ahead and just set this equal to repeat y instead of repeat x. Go ahead and save that now, and when I go back to the browser, click refresh, then we have the YouTube logo repeating from the top down to the bottom. So that's pretty cool as well. But we can also change the position at which this image actually starts. So let's say I take my repeat off, so let's go ahead and set this equal to no repeat. Then I'm going to go ahead and just change the background position. So background position, and as you can see in the browser, by default it appears up here in the top left hand corner, or yeah, let's go ahead and, nope, I haven't saved yet, have I? No. Okay, that's fine. So it starts appearing in the top left hand corner. But let's say I wanted my image to appear in the actual center of the browser over here. Then I could go ahead and do that. It'll actually appear in the center of the div, by the way, not the center of the browser. But let's go ahead and type in background position center. And when I go ahead and save this now, my image should appear in the center. So by default it was top left. Now it's in the center. We can also set this equal to center top, and that would make it appear in the center at the top. Then we've also got right top. By default it was left top. We've got center. Then we've got left center. Yeah, okay, left center would be over here. Then we've got right center, which would be make the image start here. Then we've also got right bottom, which would be over here. Then we've got left bottom, which would make the image appear over here. And we also have center bottom, which would make the image appear down here. Okay, so if you guys want to go ahead and play around with those positions, then you can go ahead and do that. But I'm not going to, because it's going to take up a lot of time. But you'll find what a lot of guys do when creating a web page is actually go ahead and, instead of adding all of this code in the actual div, they might actually add it to the body tag, and it's possible to do that. So I'll go ahead and add all of that code to the body tag and have the image appear actually in the body of your web page. And they'll start off the image appearing from center top, but they'll make an image that will take up the entire size of the browser. So right now I'm actually just recording a small part of my screen, but let's say I wanted the image to take up my entire screen. I could make an image that is 1920 by 1080 pixels. So that's 1920 in width and 1080 in height, and then basically make an image that's exactly that size, set it to appear in the center, and then, or center top, and then also set it not to repeat or not to move when the page scrolls, and then you have that image that actually just like stands dead still while all the content moves up and down when you scroll. Okay, so that's what a lot of guys will do with a background image if they want an entire background image on their website. And it's possible to do that if you don't want the image to scroll, if you don't want the image to move when you scroll, then you go ahead and use the background attachment property, attachment, there we go, like that. And you set this equal to fixed. And this means that the image will not move if you have enough content to actually make the browser scroll, but I don't have enough, so you're just going to have to trust me that that works, because I'm not going to show you guys. And I know this tutorial is getting kind of long, but there is one last thing I want to mention, and that is just the actual content and the background color as well. So if you guys didn't know, basically every single element in your web page has at least 3 different layers. So I'm going to go ahead and actually take this code and throw it back in my div tag. And I'm also going to give my div tag a background color, and we might as well just give this a color of, I don't know, orange. We'll just use a standard color because I'm too lazy to look for a hexadecimal color. And I'm also going to give this div some content, so we'll just go ahead and say some content here. Ha ha ha. Okay, cool. And now if I go back to my browser and click refresh, you can see, not so well, but we can still sort of see it. Let's go ahead and just change that repeat so that it will repeat all the time, and we'll take out that position as well. Okay, you'll see that our elements actually have 3 layers. So we have the color or the background color which appears at the back, and then on top of that we have our background image which appears on top of the background color, and then the highest layer of all is our content. So if I went ahead and copied that a few times, you'd see that this content will appear on top of the actual image itself. So let's actually go back and we'll just duplicate that a few times. Hopefully that's enough to go down to the new line. Click refresh, and as you can see, our content actually appears on top of our background image. So those are basically the 3 layers of every element. And actually that's all I have for you guys in this tutorial. So don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, and share the video. It's really going to help my channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time.